Hey everyone, since recording this episode, we talked about the Second Shift Brewing fundraiser that has closed since the time of our recording. We were all able to raise $16,668 for the Kreider family over at Second Shift Brewing, and that's awesome. So they're not taking any more donations, but just wanted to put that out there and enjoy the show. Today's episode is sponsored by the American Homebrewers Association. Become a part of the U.S.'s largest community of homebrewers for just $48 a year by going to unitedwedrink.com/AHA. What exactly do you get with your AHA membership? How about a year-long subscription to Zymurgy magazine, the world's longest-running homebrew magazine? Exclusive deals and discounts at over 2,000 breweries, bars, and bottle shops across America. Discounts on Brewers publication books and merchandise. Access to a huge library of previous HomebrewCon seminars and talks. And early access to purchasing tickets to each year's Great American Beer Festival and Savor. Sign up now by going to unitedwedrink.com/AHA and get a year's membership for just $48. And if you sign up now, you'll get a free gift. What's that gift? I'm not saying. You need to go see for yourself. It's pretty great. Support United We Drink, support homebrewing, and support the American Homebrewers Association at unitedwedrink.com/AHA. The opinions and statements in this podcast do not represent those of the host's employers, co-workers, family, or imaginary friends. Now enjoy the show.
Happy hour? More like amateur hour. Welcome to United We Drink.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast with more hiccups than heart attacks. Welcome to United We Drink, right here on unitedwedrink.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever fine podcasts are found. My name is Mike Urevich, and I'm already fucking over summer, and it's not even summer. And with me, as usual, is a man I wish wouldn't take the super fans as his Chicago idols. It's Joel Codner.
Listen, if it's hiccups versus heart attacks, I got one on the board. You know, I got us on the map, so doing my part.
I'd rather more hiccups. Way more hiccups. I do, before we get really into this, want to throw out a quick apology. I put this out on Twitter. I want to throw out an apology to our friend Anya Carter and apologize because I neglected to remember that she was our first female guest on the show on the last episode when I did the little intro. So I'm sorry. And with that said, she already gave me the okay on feeling bad about myself on Twitter. But all right, let's get into talking a little bit about you just for a bit, Joel. How are you feeling since everything? It's been a few weeks. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, Joel had a mild heart attack. So we have some concern about his health and his well-being, as we should, for those who care about Joel. So how you doing, man?
I'm okay. It's been just over 3 weeks since I was discharged. I was in and out of the hospital in like 2.5 days, I guess. Also diagnosed with diabetes, so that's fun. I am on 6 different medications like blood thinners, cholesterol. Fortunately, my numbers were low enough where I don't have to be sticking myself with insulin all the time, so I'm just taking like an oral tablet of something. Blood pressure meds. I'm sticking my finger with the fucking needle every few hours, and got a little portable digital blood sugar meter, so I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm on a very strict diet. I'm allowed either 1 beer 1 ounce of hard liquor or 1 like 4-ounce glass of wine per day. I am drinking right now a lemon polar seltzer because I already blew my alcohol wad for the day when I was out eating with my wife a little while ago. Had a nice Michelob Ultra on draft. It was their healthiest option.
Nice.
So I'm doing all right. I mean, I'm bored as hell with the strict diet, and I've dieted before and I've done really well when I have, but it was also voluntary. It was also something that I wanted to do. This time I didn't want to do it. And not wanting to do it is what got me here in the fucking first place. So, it's just something I got to stick with. And it's, some, personal shit also happened. Like the day I was having, I think it's an angiogram where they go in through my vein and they put like dye in my bloodstream and they can see my heart and my arteries and everything. And they put a little balloon in one of my arteries to open it up because it was closed or blocked. So the same day someone was saving my life, my sister took her own. So that, fucked me up for a bit. Nobody wanted to tell me until I got out of the hospital, for obvious reasons. So, I can't blame them for that. But
it's a rock and a hard place at the max, really, of a decision.
Yeah. And, I barely had time to process everything that was going on with me before I, got home and found out. So, it's just a lot to take in at once, a lot to adjust to. And I'll be up, back in Chicago in a few weeks for her memorial thing. So I think, physically, I'm all right. I'm here. I'm doing my thing. I'm back at work. I'm able to handle the duties, once again. Trying to take it easy with, some of the heavy lifting and stuff like that. But pretty much back to normal. Just trying to take it slow, not overexert myself, because I do definitely feel a little bit winded, doing certain shit. But other than that, I'm kind of back at it. Mentally, it's a fucking coin toss. It's day to day. It's a lot, and I feel stupid for getting myself in this predicament. And, so it's kind of an ego bruise. And, I was having this conversation at lunch with my wife earlier. I was just like, I don't like the limits. I don't like opening the fridge and being like, well, nope to that. Nope. Can't have that. There feels like a loss of freedom in it almost, but it's for the best and for my health. And hopefully I can get it back on track and, start, working some normal shit back in eventually after, my numbers are looking good right now and stuff like that. I just got to get, some weight off and, do my follow-up appointments and, keep reassessing me and see where I'm at and hopefully improving day to day.
Awesome, man. It is a day-to-day thing, a one step at a time thing. I believe in you. I know I have seen you do the diet stuff before, and this is a lifestyle change now. It's going to be something that has to be ingrained into your DNA on how you change a lot of your life. And I believe in you, and I know that you can do it, and I know that it's going to be hard, but you can get through it. You have a great family, and you have a great support group to back you up, and we're always going to be here for you. If you ever feel down and feel the need to talk to someone, who you can always reach out to. And dude, I can help you out with some healthy recipes and stuff too. Like, I know that there's even stuff that seems healthy that isn't really, so that can be a little challenging at points too. But you can do this, and you can find ways to create meals that taste good and fulfilling, that are good for you as well. And I'm glad to see steps in the positive direction for you.
Well, thank you. And I want to thank you and Allie and Kevin and his Allie and Adam and Julie and the guys at Bitter Units. You guys sent me some really nice stuff and beautiful cards. And, really showed support, and it was super overwhelming. And I was getting all kinds of shit in the mail from people, and just
it's funny with the cards. Like, there isn't really a card out there that says, "Hey, you got over a heart attack." So it was like,
I bet there is.
there might be, probably on like some weird website, but
Spencer Gifts.
But yeah, that's probably where. But Adam and Julie picked out the card, and they're like, it was the most generic thing that we could really find. And so we went with that to send you. But I mean, I know like Tim from Bitter Units reached out to me almost immediately and was talking to me about what we can do. And I was even at a loss for a little bit, because I was like, I don't know what we can give a person who's just gone through all of this that is safe for them. So that's why I know
edible arrangements.
that was my first thought, but my wife pointed out
a lot of sugar
to me. Yeah, there's a lot. Sorry, dog. It's still daylight here, so his TV is still on, which is the front window. And he gets to see a lot of stuff going on out there and gets him all worked up. But yeah, we figured the Publix gift cards was a great way for you guys to be able to get what you need to help you all get through things. And it's the least that we could do as friends, because friends help friends.
No, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And believe me, we bought so many goddamn vegetables. I am so tired of chewing salad. And like, my favorite thing in the world is like a chicken Caesar salad. And I've been eating the shit out of those. But man, it's like just the chewing.
Dude, like roasted vegetables, I don't know how you feel about those, but like, they're some of my favorite things. Summer's a little weird with them, because like, they're such a warming feeling thing that are better suited for the fall and the winter. But I mean, some potatoes, Brussels sprouts, carrots, so many things you can just chop up and season and throw into the oven, and they are just delicious goodness. It probably cut back on the salt on that a bit, but I mean, you have tons of things you can do with that.
What sucks is no caffeine, which kills me, because
I'm sure
my work is basically manual labor, brewing, especially, in a hot fucking environment. Really need that energy. I have started supplementing with B12 that a lot of people were recommending, and that really did help.
Good.
Very, very surprisingly. I was very surprised how quick it worked. Didn't really feel energized or, caffeinated, but definitely took me out of the fog. And,
that's really the thing. Like, I don't feel like you really need to feel a buzz or a jolt from stuff. It's something to just help you feel normal and carry you through the day without feeling like tired midway through, 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy the buzz. I like to be cranked up as much as humanly possible. So in one of my follow-up appointments, I'm going to try to talk to the cardiologist and see about, can I have like 1 cup of coffee in the morning, or
really dark roast that has
tea,
like
just
less
just one a day,
Yeah. Well, I think that I can speak for majority of our listeners and say that we're happy to see that you're doing well and you're heading in the right direction. We don't really have a major plan for this specific episode, but we did want to talk about a few things. First of all, a kind of little bit of a change going on over here. Remember when we came back from years of hiatus, we were a 3-person team. And then late last year, we went down to a 2-person team. Some guy, I don't remember his name, he left the show and left just Joel and I to do it. That's fine. We're good at this. And we are going to, starting next episode, be joined by a 3rd co-host. You might remember him from such things as our 1-year anniversary, which our 1 year anniversary of being back on the show. It was also my bachelor party weekend, and we were hammered. There was a lot of Malort involved. And that is our friend Kevin Abbott, who is also a member of the Barrel of Monks brewing team over with Joel. So I am now going to be outnumbered by a bunch of Belgian brewers. And he's a longtime friend of ours. We all worked together at our previous brewery, and we've just been friends for a number of years. Kevin was my best man in my wedding. Joel was there in my wedding. So like, we are people who've known each other for a long time. And Kevin and I used to do a wrestling podcast together that we no longer do because the product is lame, at least the American products. So he has the itch to start doing podcasting again. And he, for some fucking reason, wanted to join this show. So we put him through the rigors of hazing, which was me just saying, hey, he wants to be on the show, and Joel saying, okay. And so in 2 weeks, our buddy Kevin will be joining us as our new third wheel on this crazy, crazy podcast that we call United We Drink.
He's the third leg of the tripod. Yeah, Kevin, I first met when he was bartending and brewing at the original Funky Buddha Lounge here in Boca Raton. Then I really got to know him a bit for a whole day on the 2010 road trip we all took to Cigar City for the Double Barrel Marshall Zukov release. I mean, just thinking of the size and scope of that release, which was so small back then, and to see where they're at now, that really shows like how far back we go with Kevin. I immediately took to liking him because he was ranting in the backseat about Sam Harris and atheism and skepticism, and I was like, oh, I like this guy. And it was also a joy to watch him bartend, him being quite the misanthrope at the time, just having to deal with people who come up to the bar and go, so how does this work? And he would just slap shut a binder of beer menus and just like almost throw it at him as he slid it across the bar at them. It was a lot of fun to watch. And I got to know him over the years. He was basically like a mentor at our first brewery. Thankfully, he was there to teach me brewing because I wasn't getting the right learning from who was teaching me at the time. And I was really grateful for the little over a year that he spent with us. Really taught me all the right things and how to approach brewing and the logic involved and a lot of the steps and the thought process, not just press this and turn that dial and open that valve. He really taught me the why, which was exactly what I needed. And I imagine my beer career would not be the same without him. And now he's my boss at Barrel of Monks Brewing. So, I get to see him every day. He's, just great to work with. We get along great, and I'm really happy to be there with him. And I got a feeling he's going to drive me nuts on this podcast because, he's definitely funny, and I know he's going to bring that to the party. But he is also super rational and methodical and logical. And I've had conversations with him where I'm sure I'm right about something, or maybe not even... Maybe not even that I'm right, but that I just feel like I'm on the right side of the topic. And I still might be, but he still finds a way to make me feel like a piece of shit about myself about it. So I have to imagine I'm going to be bitching about like marshmallow beer, and then he's going to come in with his like, well, there's an audience for everything, and every beer has its place, and all the horse shit I say to myself that I don't believe, but have to because it's beer and we're supposed to stroke each other off. But I'm looking forward to it, man. He's going to be a lot of fun on this.
I'm really looking forward to this because Kevin definitely brings a different perspective to this industry than you and I, because Kevin's been in this industry longer than you and I. But he's taken a different path. He was a brewer and is now more on the sales side of things. But he's also doesn't have any personal social media. He does not participate in that, never wants to participate in that. And he is not very involved in like the trends of these hypey trends. Like he has a general idea of what's going on, but he doesn't really know some of these small hype breweries and what they're doing and this and that. And he doesn't really care about that. So it will be really interesting to get his take and his perspective on things from someone who truly cares more about the direction of his own brewery and the local community than what some schmuck is doing with their mash tun in fucking Texas and probably throwing marshmallows in it. But that is what I'm looking forward to, because when I bring things up like this to Kevin, like that are like hot beer Twitter topics, and he is like, well, like he'll usually start it off with like, well, that's dumb, but, and then he, like you said before, will go on this rant about how like they can look at it from this perspective and do it from these ways, and like he always has an opinion and a view on things that is very logical and that he can look at from other people's perspective and make me feel like you're supposed to be mad at this with me. Don't be taking their side. So yeah, this is going to be really fun. For those of you that don't know Kevin, I really think that you're in for a treat. He's a joy of a person to talk with, like about really anything. One of my most favorite conversations I've had with him recently, or in recent memory during the pandemic, was his wife and I, and my wife and I, talking about Halloween candy, and we were watching wrestling, and we started ranking our top 10 favorite Halloween candies because it was such a lame pay-per-view. And it was one of the most fun things I've ever done. But this guy just, he's fun. He is great. And we hope that he brings something awesome and new and enjoyable to the show.
And the irony of his disconnect of, from current beer trends and all the hype shit is that he kind of started it.
Of one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the original, Funky Buddha guy. He
is pastry stouts.
Yeah. Pastry porters, pastry stouts, extreme sours. You almost have to look at him like Hitler's father. Like he didn't really know where it was going to go. He just wanted to have a kid. And who knew that beer would turn into what it has since, he was slugging away in the back of that lounge, and then eventually the big brewery for a short period of time. But it is kind of funny. Like we kind of joke about that in the brew house, like how, I won't say he started it, but I mean, he was, like you said, at the forefront. And man, I don't even know what beers he likes now. He really doesn't stick around to have shift beers with us. And I know he's not a big IPA guy, but he does like, our Endless Enigma and Just to Prove a Point IPAs that Ralph devised. I know he's a fan of those.
He likes seltzers too.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen him drink, Trulies and, White Claws and other things before, and really enjoy them. He enjoyed the seltzer. He really enjoyed the seltzer that you guys made a few months back. He loves very well crafted malty beers. Like he loves barley wines. He loves brown ales and red ales. And we were at their house a couple weeks ago for dinner. And he and I opened up a bottle of one of Odd Breed's beers that was like an unfruited blended wild ale that was fantastic. And like he was like, I'm so happy you picked this one because this is one of my favorite beers that Matt has made. And like it is funny because like sometimes I think like Kevin just doesn't care about beer, but no, Kevin really does care about beer. He loves the wit. He loves the single. He actually texted me a few months ago about a double IPA that when we did Internet Gold over at Copper Point. He just texted me randomly one weekend and was like, really good IPA. And I was surprised that he liked a hazy double IPA. But
and now that you mention it, I do recall him really enjoying my brown ale and my stout, which, when I was at the brew pub. And when he had initially told me that meant a lot because, it's like your teacher, your mentor, giving their seal of approval, which, I mean, it was always such an honor and privilege and felt so great to just look on the other side of the glass and see people smiling and I would watch people take their first sip and have that facial expression like, ooh, and a guy would look over at his significant other and say, try this. And I like watching that kind of stuff. And,
yeah.
So, that was always cool. But for like, fellow brewers and brewery owners and like people that I respect and look up to get their seal approval, that means a lot. So, I remember enjoying, him enjoying a couple of my things and, hopefully, brewing some brown ales again one day.
You know what? Like, I'm shifting subjects here on you. That feeling when you see someone enjoy your beer, they don't even maybe vocalize it to you or to an employee, but like you can kind of see it in their face, like the eyebrows lift up, their just eyelids go wide open. They kind of look around. They look to the person next to them. They say something like, "Oh, try this." Like that, I feel is like one of the greatest highs that you can get. Like, fuck reading an Untapped review or another review site or something like that. I'm sure that like some of that stuff can feel really good, but when you can see a person experiencing the feeling of having a good beer, a beer that they really enjoy, I don't think anything fucking beats that.
It's tough to beat, man, especially when it's something that you've created yourself 100%. Like we get a lot of compliments at our first brewery, especially in the open environment that it was. You'd be up on the brew deck and someone that was in the tap room could literally just shout over to you.
Yeah.
And, they'd kind of hoist their glass and go, "Good job, keep up the good work." And, you'd say, "Oh, thanks." And, there was definitely a lot of that interaction over the years. But I always, didn't take the full compliment because, yeah, we were back there and we were doing the work and making all the beer. But, it still was someone else's recipe. It was all someone else's process. So it really didn't hit me until the brew pub, when I was really on my own and, my own shit, my own recipes, all, creating all the stuff myself. So to see people enjoy that, especially coming from, originally an environment of cubicle hell where you're just pushing paper all day and there's no reward for your work, to transition to a creative job where you can actually witness people enjoying the fruits of your labor. I mean, it's fucking unbeatable.
Yeah. Also want to give you a little bit of love, because I think we recorded that weekend, but I don't remember if I said anything on the show because it was the weekend that we recorded with Alexandria. I was at your brewery for your most recent can release, and I thought that there was a fantastic turnout for that. I think that you guys are onto something there with these tailgate parties. It's such a cool idea because there's so little overhead for you as a brewery. Like you really don't have to do a whole lot. You tell people, "Hey, come on out, sit outside, bring tents, bring footballs." You tell people to bring their own stuff. And you got like 3 new beers in cans. We'll sell you per can, and you can hang out. You had a barbecue folks there
Pig
selling
roast.
barbecue, and that was fucking delicious. And this batch of Endless Enigma I thought was even better than the first one. The pineapple coconut thing, not my thing. Little sweet for me, but I mean, I saw plenty of people enjoying that. But and then the single in Havana is like, I know how much you guys go through that, so it's cool to see that in a can. It tastes just as good, but I mean, that was a fucking awesome, and it was also the first time I got to really talk to Ralph from your brewery,
Yep.
and that dude is such a smart dude, and he's so passionate about brewing, and especially the hop part of things. And like there were obviously times where I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. Like you're talking over
Me
my
too.
head. Like Kevin, even multiple times, Kevin, who has been in this industry longer than all of us, is like, I'm just going to walk away from this because I don't know what he's talking about. But I mean, he cites like his sources and talks about where he read about these things. And I mean, you guys got a good one there with him. So I just thought it was such a great day. I enjoyed talking to people and seeing people I haven't seen in a while, and having good beers, and just seeing you guys having a really awesome day there was really great.
No, I'm glad to hear it, and thanks for that feedback. I mean, Ralph, as I've said before, is a hop wizard. I mean, just a mad scientist, chemist. I mean, he really gets into like the molecular structure and shit. And it's so, as our buddy Wayne would say, esoteric. But yeah, man, I'm excited for what he's doing. We've got some more stuff coming, hop wise. Getting ready to brew a pineapple IPA next week, which should be really fucking cool. And the cool thing about him is he's never satisfied. It's not like, oh, this batch of Endless Enigma kicks ass and we're going to leave it just like that. Like, he's always looking for ways to improve it, whether it's, flavor wise, aroma wise, process wise, saving on the ingredients, making little changes here and there. I mean, he's all about making it the best it possibly can be. And I think Barrel Monks is insanely fortunate to have him. And yeah, the tailgates are definitely cool. I was at the one before it. I was bummed I didn't go to the pig roast. I didn't really think that was part of the diet when I first got out. So, but
Makes sense.
yeah, but no, it's cool. Even my father-in-law came out for the previous one and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that you guys are on to something there. I wish that I could steal it without making it seem so obvious. But
it honestly seems like a cool concept. Like, if you had a brewery that had a bunch of space, but maybe not the budget to furnish it properly, just fucking tell everybody, like, hey, come on out, bring all your shit and get out on the lawn and do your thing.
it really was so cool to see, like, people actually doing that, because you can say that all you want, but are people actually going to put it into action? And I saw so many pop-up tents like behind people's trucks or SUVs and so forth, and it was such a joy to see. No one was throwing a football around, but like really just taking the whole let's hang out in the parking lot. Like, it's one of the most simple, longest standing things. Like, I remember being a young adult hanging out in parking lots with friends, and it's like a return to that of sorts, but legally. And it was a joy to see so many people taking note, following in what everyone else was doing, and having a good time. I even saw people like buying buying 4-packs, buying cans, and then they have the coolers outside, and they're just throwing them in the coolers and just hanging out outside. And like, this was a brilliant idea.
One thing I liked at the previous one that was, I guess, what the youngsters would call a bit of a flex was this couple set up their SUV or their truck or whatever it was. They had the big, like the hatch open and a TV inside, and I think it was like a big fucking inflatable couch that they were just sitting on, facing the back of the truck, drinking beers, watching whatever the hell was on the TV. I'm like, I don't even know where you're getting reception right now. Like, you have like a Chromecasting, or like I don't know what's going on. And then we had Sean, our sales guy, kind of DJing these events.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old he is, but clearly not old enough to know who Heavy D was. And
Really?
on the Mocha Quad release, I specifically requested he play Black Coffee by Heavy D. And he didn't know what it was, but played it. And I saw a whole fucking table of people who were probably my age just like start jamming to it, going along with the lyrics and the whole thing. So that was a fun moment.
Did you follow it up with Black Flag, Black Coffee?
I did not.
No. Well, half point. But yeah, you guys are doing something fun over there, and I'm a little jealous that you guys have come up with something so cool and so fun for yourselves. But I'll go and enjoy.
And we're keeping it rolling. On the next one, we've got Pineapple IPA. We've got Single in the Sun in cans. No guava this time. And I'm totally brain farting on the third one, but it's going to be cool.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. I also like the 2 tall boys and 1 12-ounce thing that you're going with now. And it's a nice change up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the 2-to-1 thing, is intentional, but it just happens to work out where it's like sort of a flagship or a core or a standard beer from the lineup, getting the 12-ounce treatment, and then 2 specialty beers in the tall boys.
Because the first one was all tall boys, I recall.
Yeah, the seltzer, the IPA, and fuck me, I can't remember the third. It wasn't Wizard.
No.
Doesn't matter because people are listening. And
oh, it was the sour.
there you go.
Yeah, there you
Single in Paradise.
Yeah. All right. So enough of me filleting Joel's business and telling him how good that they're doing. But instead, let's talk about another business that does fucking awesome things and who are going through a tough point right now, and that is our friends over at Second Shift Brewing in St. Louis. Libby and Steve Kreider have been like some of the most amazing people in the craft beer industry. They are. I'm reading off of a kind of script here. Allies and advocates for so many in our community. And they had an unfortunate accident at their home, which I didn't know also sat on the same grounds as their brewery due to negligent firework use that caused a fire at their house, causing an insane amount of damage. Everyone in their family is okay, but there is a ton of damage to their house, and a GoFundMe was started by Aaron Burks on Friday, the 18th, in hopes of raising $5,000 to help fix their home. At the point of this recording on Saturday the 19th, it's like been one day. We're at nearly, I'm going to refresh this just to be 100% accurate. It's $16,448 raised for them in like a day.
Shout out to whoever the hell Bridget Brown is with $1,000 as the top donation.
Yeah. This is just amazing to see the outreach of people. I've seen people who have matched offers and in order to try to help these wonderful folks. I mean, I've never made it to second shift myself. I've had some of their beers thanks to Joel. And but I mean, Libby is one of the sweetest human beings that I've ever met virtually. I mean, she would give whatever she has on her back to someone. I mean, they reached out to their community very recently with like the heat wave that was going on. Like, hey, come to the brewery. We got air conditioning. We'll keep you cool. You can stay as long as you want. Almost every Thanksgiving, they open up their doors to folks who have no one around and be like, hey, come on in, have a beer, have some food. We got food for you. And a lot of times they do this for nothing. Like, you don't have to buy a beer. You don't have to do anything. You just come in and they treat you like family. And I can't speak more highly of someone who I've never met before in this industry. And I love what they do for not just our industry, our world. We need more people like them in our world. And I was happy to donate to their cause here and help out. And just seeing over like 284 people have donated $16,000+ right now. It's insanity. And I love everyone who has donated.
It's overwhelming, man, to see the goal more than tripled in like a day. And the news was such a surprise. I learned about it from Erin, at Chicago Erin, for those of you looking to follow. She's awesome. And, I obviously, when you have something that major, it's a lot to take in. And, I didn't want to bother anyone and go, oh my God, what happened? And, all we really know is negligent firework usage, which probably means some fucker got, 4th of July fireworks at the grocery store and set them off a couple weeks too early. And somehow it hit their house or something along those lines. I mean, that's what I'm speculating here, but fuck, I mean.
What really sucks is I remember a week or two ago, Libby kind of going at it with someone on Twitter over firework usage because of her kids and her animals and what kind of stress that puts them through. And then to have this come in some weird fucked up circle back to this is just so sad.
Yeah. And I think the best thing we can take away from this is, look, they're definitely the best of us. I mean, she has spread so much cheer, always just advocate for mental health and sending out care packages to people, and not in a, advertising way, like we're trying to get known, so we're going to send beer out. No, it's not about that. It's like, whose fucking day can I brighten? I've got 20 boxes and I'm going to fill them with beer and send them to people. And it's fucking expensive to ship beer. I mean, the shit weighs a lot. I know, because I have. And, I can't imagine what it's like to send 20 boxes at once. So, always just doing the right thing. One of my favorite things about her is the rants that she has gone on about supporting her own staff and believing them, because we have to remember that we're in an industry that serves alcohol and people get fucked up, and that can accentuate shitty behavior from shitty people. So if someone comes in and acts up or bitches about masks or treats their staff like shit, I mean, she's going to defend them 100%. And that means a fucking lot to me, because I've been treated like shit on the bar side, and my bosses were like, well, we're going to have to, review some video. And I've worked for them for fucking years now, and I still don't get the benefit of the doubt. And that's really shitty. So, for her to be such a great advocate for her staff, for her community, for fucking everyone, I mean, it's only natural to see everyone respond in this way and triple that goal in such short time. I mean, this to me is what fucking beer was supposed to be. And this is the shit I want to see more of.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see more people's fucking houses on fire, but you know what I'm saying.
Understood. Yes. Obviously, it's implied.
I mean, maybe a couple people I can.
But yeah, I mean, it sucks that a tragedy has to create something that we can all be proud of. But, sometimes things like this happen to give us a little bit of reassurance of ourselves in this industry, that we're in it for the right reasons, and we're in it in general, because I know that there's plenty of times that we go back and forth and like, are we in this for real? Like, why am I here? And seeing folks like the Kreiders being supported so much by this industry makes me feel like, all right, it's not bleak. There's still a lot of good out there in this industry to go around, and makes me happy. And hopefully they can get their house fixed up as soon as possible, and they don't get a fucking shitty GC like I have at my house. And they can probably get their shit done before I just have fucking windows done in my house. And that mine is voluntary.
And, for all his faults, one thing my dad taught me that I always take with me is, whether it's a car accident or the house damage, I mean, that shit can be repurchased and rebuilt and all that. Like, I'm so glad everyone's safe. And, I know she has small children. And I'm just happy everyone's okay because, I mean, Jesus Christ, for a fireworks to just suddenly cause a fire from outside, I mean, that's, like I've had, my stove catch fire and shit like that, and you're scrambling and like, oh my God, what the fuck? So like, if you're in your house and not even know what's going on outside, like, holy shit, I can only imagine the shock and everything. And I'm so glad everyone's okay and no one was injured.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the first and foremost, most important thing, that their family is all okay. All right. So I don't really have anything else here on the docket to talk about for this episode. Is there anything that you want to bring up, Joel?
I mean, Phil sent us a little bit of news. I didn't know if you wanted to comment on the fact that YouTube banned alcohol ads.
No.
I mean,
okay.
They're probably all ads for Drizzly, so fuck them.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'll probably never work for a company that is large enough to afford an advertising budget that can advertise on YouTube. But I mean, oh well, that money will just go towards more TV ads and whatnot. But tobacco has been a long time banned on advertising on practically anything, so doesn't really shock me that alcohol is being restricted more on advertising, like things like that.
And it also applies to other types of advertising, like pharmaceuticals, which I'm so glad they got rid of. I can't fucking believe the ads I see every day on TV for some of these meds, especially the mental health ones. I mean, there's a commercial that starts off like, you've been taking your meds for depression and now you're okay, but such and I think it had something to do with like involuntary movement or something, like so now there's a pill for the side effect of the mental health shit that you need so that you're not like twitching and shit. And like, I just think all those meds are so fucking evil. And like, there's people just like frolicking in fields of flowers and cooking each other breakfast and everyone's happy and smiling and there's windmills and fucking all this happy shit. And it's like, Side effects may include, sudden death and stroke and
it's at triple the
fuck?
speed of
Right.
any other voice on the ad.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, all those ads. First of all, it's unbelievable to me that some of those medications are approved when they list their side effects. I mean, if you're taking a pill for mental health and one of the side effects is suicidal thoughts, I mean, how the fuck is that legal?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And it just shows, Big Pharma's grip on all of our shit. And tell me what fucking country doesn't allow those ads, because I'd like to retire there. Because I know there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. All right. I think here's a good point to kind of wrap things up. Let's go into last calls, the point in the show where we give each other an unspecified amount of time to kind of voice our opinion, unopposed, unresponded to, on whatever we want to say. So I'll start things off here. I just want to throw out a quick recommendation of a show that I recently watched, and that is The Morning Show on Apple TV Plus. I know that we have so many plus type of networks out there, but it has Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell, Mark Duplass, a really great cast, and it's a fantastic fucking show. And it's built around the kind of Me Too movement. It's pretty much a fictionalized version of Matt Lauer and his story and his fall from grace. And the acting is phenomenal. The writing is incredible. There's so many actors and actresses in this show that I would consider comedic actors who do fantastic jobs in a mostly dramatic role. There's comedy in it for sure, but Steve Carell was great. Reese Witherspoon, great. Jennifer Aniston, fantastic. I can speak highly of everyone in it. It's just one season on there. I think 10 episodes. They're all about an hour each, and just a really great watch.
There's so... Fuck, sorry, I'm not supposed to reply.
It's okay. I permit you.
I keep hearing about all this awesome shit on Apple TV, and I'm like, I'm not getting one more service. I'm just not.
I have a free trial, so that's pretty much why I'm on it right now.
I would have to binge so hard for whatever the duration of that trial is. So
Ted Lasso's only a half-hour show, so you can get through that one pretty fast.
How many episodes though?
8 to 10.
All right, that's doable.
That's a fantastic show too.
All right, so I have to do a two-parter, but I consider these equally important, and I got to get them out there, okay? Number one, and Mike can edit this out if he feels I'm saying too much, but I know he's already announced this on social media. Mike is having twins. Congratulations. It's so goddamn exciting. When you gave me the news, it totally made my day. So yesterday, my daughter finished elementary school, and I dropped her off in the morning. And then as I proceeded to drive to work, I was a blubbering, crying fucking mess. Because, the kids just grow up too fast, man. Time flies. And I just wanted to tell Mike, fucking cherish every single moment, even when you're wiping just explosive diapers and up in the middle of the night with the crying and all of the stuff that comes along with parenthood. You got to just savor every fucking moment because it goes so fast. I mean, you have no idea. I met you when my kids were probably 2 and
unborn.
My wife was pregnant. So, and now that the one where she was pregnant is already moving on to middle school, and in a little over a year, my son will be in high school. So, please, cherish every fucking moment, even the good, the bad, the stressful, the tired, because they're gonna grow up one day and they're gonna be like, I don't want to clean my room, and fucking stupid. And there's so much to just savor in these early years, and there's a big part of me that wants another one just to get one more crack at it. But And then the other thing I wanted to say was this fucking Waffle House guy. Like, did you see this story about the guy? Oh my god! So this guy, this fucking.
I saw you going off about something, and
Right.
I was like, no idea what he's talking about.
So there was, I guess, a journalist. He looks like a kind of a young guy. Came in last in his fantasy football league, and the punishment for that was to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House. But the caveat there was, and I'm so sorry for using that word, I hate it, that he could scratch off an hour for every waffle that he eats. So if he goes in at like noon and he's got to stay there till the following noon, you know, if he eats one waffle, he can eat or leave the following 11 a.m. If he eats two, you know, so on. He keeps, you know, you can remove an hour from the punishment for every waffle you eat. And it was an entertaining thread in the beginning. He was basically live tweeting it and saying, you know, about like what music they're playing, and like, you know, he kept fucking making sure to say like, I've been here a long time, don't worry, I'm tipping the staff really well, and da 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 da, and just kind of, you know, documenting his experience as he's stuck in this Waffle House. And he ended up having 9 waffles in 15 hours. And I'm like, you fucking amateur. I will go in, like, if I didn't have diabetes right now, I would go into a Waffle House and eat 9 waffles in the first hour. Like, you've got to be kidding me. I was really, like, this was the biggest thing on the internet for like a day. And
for
I
24
couldn't
hours?
believe. I would eat fucking 9 waffles just to not see it in my feed anymore. It was easily the most disappointing challenge I've ever seen. Like, 9 waffles in 15 hours. I don't get it. And I was glad to see so many other people in my timeline like, yeah, that's bullshit. I could easily eat 9 waffles very quickly.
Did Adam Richman chime in?
I don't know. I was thinking about him during this because I used to watch that show, and, you know, he's done those challenges where it's like, you've got 1 hour or you've got 15 minutes or something crazy. And this guy was there 15. I mean, how do you not have an hour? I mean, come on, that's nothing. They have bathrooms. You know, if the waffle and the syrup and everything's too sweet, you do like Adam. See, this is why I thought of Adam Richman, because it's like, oh, is it getting too sweet? Well, you got to bring in something savory. When he was having too much ice cream, he's like, give me a plate of fries, and then he started powering through it. You know, the salt helped, you know, cut through and change it up a little bit. So I'm very, like, now my motivation to get healthier is to outdo this asshole with waffles, you know, once I'm healthier and can do this, and the story is long gone and nobody even remembers it.
Joel Codner, competitive eating motivational speaker or coach.
Oh, man.
Anything you want to plug, man?
Shit. I'm at Barrel of Monks. I'm, I mean, everybody knows I'm Joel Brews on fucking, Florida Brewer is officially gone on Twitter. I canceled it, or I closed the account like the middle of last month, and you have like 30 days to sign back in and rescue the account, but it's officially gone. So if anyone wants to steal that and fucking impersonate me and talk all kinds of shit and try to get me canceled again, go ahead and register Florida Brewer on Twitter. Have fun.
Why do you put that out there? All right. You can follow me at Mike Loves Beer on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the show at United We Drink on Twitter, at United We Drink Pod on Instagram. And you can listen to the show on any of the major podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts. I think I said that already. I don't care. If you want to support the show financially, you can check out some of our sponsors on our website, unitedwedrink.com/sponsors, or buy a shirt, button, sticker, something from our web store, unitedwedrink.com/store. In the meantime, we will be back here in 2 weeks with Kevin Abbott making his debut on United We Drink. Well, his debut as an official co-host. He's been on the show before. But in the meantime, stay safe, everybody out there. Be cool to one another. And cheers.
Cheers.